Hello viewers, welcome to the Village Boy Academy once again. Thank you for your comments and both offline and online. I really appreciate it. As promised earlier on, today we are proceeding to discuss a partnership type of business. The partnership type of business is where two or more people come together as partners to establish a business. It's called partnership because they share ownership. There's share ownership. There's also share responsibility. Then there is they also share income and losses. That is why it is called a partnership. One of the major features of partnership is in the decision-making process, where it is affirmed that two good heads are better than one. So leveraging on that decision-making process usually is what gives birth to partnership. We have three types of partnership. We have the general partnership. This is where just two or three or more people just come together to establish business and run the business jointly. The general partnership is not as cumbersome as that type of partnership because it doesn't require much documentation. But it's always advisable that some documentation take place, because where there is no documentation in terms of partnership agreement, the bubble can burst somewhere along the line. Then we have the limited partnership. Limited partnership actually is usually authorized by law, by the state. So it means that the liability of a partner is limited to the contribution to the share of holding in the business. So it's a bit more advantageous than other type of partnership. General partnership, they have for limited liability. Though usually most partnerships actually have unlimited liability in the long run. Then we also have the limited liability partnership. When there is a case of liability, what the partner is obligated to meet is, you forfeit your complete investment. Afterwards, you are not expected to go and bring your personal asset to liquidate debt. So that is what a limited liability partnership is about. Also, there are types of partners. We have three major types of partners. We have active partners. These are partners that are involved in the day-to-day running of the business. They are the one that is involved in taking decisions, implementing decisions, and also such activities are generating income for the business. Those are the active partners. Then we have the dormant partners. Dormant partners, most of the time, they are like investors. They have their money, or sometimes they call them sleepy partners. They contributed to the establishment of the business, but they don't play active role, in the business. For active partners, they are entitled to both salaries and share of profits. Sometimes the salary is designated as allowances. Therefore, dormant partner, they only are entitled to profit sharing, so they are not entitled to allowances or salaries because they do not participate in the running of the business. Nominal partners sometimes is those that they are just they are brought into the partnership maybe because of their standing in the society, or because they provide leverage in terms of contacts. Their contacts are useful to the business, so they appoint them as nominal partner so that they can leverage on that contact. Of course, for this one, they may not participate in profit sharing, but they do. Most of them are entitled to some level of allowances, for their, at least for leveraging on their contacts, for bringing businesses to the organization. So they get allowances depending on what agreement is. So these are the type of partners. So what are the advantages of a partnership? Of course, partnership also they have some obligations. They have some formal obligations, but it's not as formal as a limited liability company. So you can say they have less formal with fewer obligations, to fulfill. You have your because at the end of the day, each partner is still treated as an individual, especially when it comes to the issue of taxation and all that. And of course, it is easier to set up, almost as easy as setting up a sole trading business. Especially so far there is an agreement, between the two partners, among the partners. In most professional organizations, partnership is a common kind of business where people of like mind, either people who had worked in the same firm before or friends or whatever, they combine together to form partnership. So it's usually very easy to set up. And another advantage is the share burden. It's a burden sharing system, rather for an individual to go through all the the burden of running, setting up, running a business. In partnership, the burden is shared among the partner, between or among the partners. Then there is the synergy. Synergy in the sense that because in partnership, the partners are bringing their knowledge, they are bringing their experiences, they are bringing their contacts, and just that 1 + 1 might be greater than 2. It provides a kind of synergy so that the combined efforts of the partners, achieve, more than what individual could have achieved, by running alone. It also provides a better opportunity, for marketing. They're able to kind of penetrate markets more than the sole trading. Or it may not be as really successful as a limited liability company, but they do have some advantage here. They also have some level of privacy because the regulatory obligation for partnership is not as cumbersome or as deep as that of a business, for instance, that is registered in a stock exchange, a public liability company, for instance. There are a lot of regulatory requirements, there are a lot of information, statutory obligations to fulfill. For partnership, it is not. It's not that. Then there is advantage of ownership and control combined together. So the owners are also the controller of the business. So it's not a case of when you have a company, you have the board and you have the management separately. In partnership, the owners, which like similitude of the board, they are also the management. So you have the combination of ownership and management together. And because they are more than one, two, they have better access to capital. Remember in the last video on sole traders, we say one of the major challenges of sole trading is like they have limited access to capital because you have to struggle to raise the capital to run your business, and that may hinder their expansion. In partnership, they have more access to capital because the combined effort of the partners give them more access to money, that the working capital they require to run the business. Then there is another major advantage in partnership. Employees usually have this forward-looking prospect to becoming partners sometimes, especially if they have performed very well. It's not unusual that the partnership you see employees who have been dedicated to the job, being promoted to the position of a partner. So because of that, that prospect of an employee to become a partner eventually, there is stability, in terms of employment. You see little or very negligible staff turnover in partnership because an average good employee, think that one day if he works harder or works very successfully, he can also become a partner. So that provides them a good access to quality employees and quality workers. Then another major thing is that there is profit sharing. Whatever accrue to the business in partnership, the profit is shared, in accordance to the percentage of their holding. So profit sharing makes it, very attractive and makes people to work hard because they know at the end of the day, apart from their allowances, apart from their salaries, whatever the bottom line is, they partake in that. So if you are a partner, you are not left out of sharing the profits, and that is a huge advantage for running partnership. Yes, you can say, well, but so to that, it's also entitled to a partner. But the thing is that sometimes, because of the synergy that I spoke earlier on, you can have a huge, better profit, in a partnership. And what you may be coming to you as a partner may be much more than what you could have achieved if you only, run as a sole trader. So then there are, so for every advantages, also disadvantages. Yes, they don't have legal statutory, no independent legal statutory status, and that also creates a problem because they are still treated as individuals. Though the business, it is assumed that owners and business are different, but the partnership is like that line is very blurred, because whatever accrues to each partner is from the business is treated as the partner income, even for tax purposes. Then the most partnerships have unlimited liability, meaning that when you are, especially when business fails and there are a lot of obligations, each partner is called upon, to contribute, to bring money, for settlement outside the business. So even if it entails you selling your personal property and all that, so that is a disadvantage. So when the business fails, you have to make sure that you come, all the partners come together to pay the liability they owe to third party. So that is a very huge disadvantage. But the major disadvantage in partnership is the issue of conflict. There are usually conflicts, among partners, especially when it comes to in terms of operations. These are things I have experienced, because I've run them. I've been part of a partnership business before. For instance, you see some people are good at marketing. Some people are good at, they are desktop operators. They implement whatever business is brought, especially in service industry. Those that are good at implementation, they make sure that they execute the job and deliver on time. There's always this conflict of who is more important. Ideally, it should not be so, but there's always be so. Who is more important? Who is doing more job? Who should be entitled to more, allowances and stuff like that? Or the guy that is going from places to market to bring businesses, believe that he is risking his life traveling and leaving the family behind and stuff like that. And the guy that is there say, look, I work my ass out, and what do I get for it? If this job is not done, we don't earn any money. Hey, it's good that you brought business, but the business has to be done. So sometimes if they don't have good conflict management system, it usually leads to the collapse of partnership. So to overcome this, when if you want to set up a partnership, make sure that you spell out, mostly in writing, conflict resolution mechanism. That is solution, about that. Yes, decision making is like a two-edged sword. Decision making can also create problem in partnership. So difficulty in making decision is one of the disadvantages of partnership, because it's often very difficult a lot of the time, to reach consensus. And most of the situation you cannot move forward until you have reached some level of consensus. So the decision making is very cumbersome. Though it's the decision making can be very can be of quality because of the advantage of two good heads, so to say. But also it could also become a problem, because we are somebody is saying no, we are not going this way. The other say no, we should go this way. If there's a partnership where we have more than 2, 3, 4 people, you have 5 partnership, then you put it to vote, then you bring about democracy. And sometimes also that also creates for that conflict. Oh, you supported my idea, you did not support my idea, and stuff like that. Profit sharing also could become a disadvantage, like what I was discussing about conflict. Because whatever we make, we have to share it, irrespective of who is contributing more. If somebody feels that is contributing more, and is getting, this could become a disadvantage. So also it could because it could also encourage those who are not putting more effort to relax. I say whatever comes, we are still going to share the profit at the end of the day. Somebody may be overworking, other people may be listening about. But again, there should be a way of understanding this. Then there is partnership is usually personally demanding on every partner. Well, if anything goes wrong with your partner, you are not immune from it. For instance, if a partner has a court case, it will affect other partners. If a partner is sick, it can drain the resources of the other partner, not just in terms of monetary value. The business can suffer. I mean, they may need to make some contribution, and sometimes the partners may even act as guarantors for one another. So there is that extra personal commitment, from the partners. It's not just about the business. You are not just committed to the business. You are also committed to the welfare of one another, which could be very demanding sometimes. So, and growth may also be, limited in partnership because of unlimited liability. People might be weary, may be very careful in just expanding abnormally, because if you expand and you collapse, you will all be at the brunt. So when somebody is even bringing suggestion of expansion, others will say, "Look, let us tread carefully, because the consequences. If the expansion fails, everybody will bear the consequences." So that may hinder growth sometimes. So growth is limited, maybe hindered because of limited liability. That if expansion fails, you are going to bear a lot of consequences as a result of that. Then income in terms of tax, taxation, especially where that is well grounded, because your income is assessed on actual basis. It could be a kind of a burden, especially if you in a year where the tax rate is very high and you make high income. It means you are going to pay higher taxes. And if unfortunately in the term that the tax is low and you're also not making good money, then the advantage of lower taxes may be lost. There are a lot of more complications when it comes to tax, so I don't want to delve so much into that. But it could be a disadvantage because income is calculated on actual basis, not on accrual basis. You cannot defer, your income, for tax benefits. So these are the basic advantages and disadvantages of partnership. Partnership has an edge over sole trading, no doubt about that, because especially the benefit of synergy, the benefit of two good heads coming together to make better decisions, the benefit of leveraging on your collective knowledge, collective experiences, and collective contacts. Then there is a huge issue of conflict. Conflict is one of the major issues where partnership don't last. And conflict sometimes come from a third party. For instance, the spouses of partners create problems for the partnership if it is not well managed. So that is why it is very important for you, if you want to set up a business, to consider which kind of business you want to set up, depending on what your objective is. But for partnership, another thing is like, if you meet people of like minds, if people meet a level of understanding and understanding the principle of comparative advantage, then you will be able to have less conflict. But I doubt it if there will be a partnership where there will be no conflict. But the way you manage the conflict, it's what is going to be important at the end of the day. So partnership business is good. It has more leverage over sole trading. But you have to tread carefully before you go into partnership business. Well, the next episode we'll be looking at limited liability company, and yeah, probably wrap up this the episode on determine what the factors for determining the kind of business you want to run. Until I come your way, don't forget, if you have not subscribed, subscribe. Push the notification button so that you can be notified once a new video drops, and share with your friend. Thank you till I see you again.